But those few that are sure making that entire race look bad.
Okay, it's a whole lot of things that I could have said to go back and refute specific things and elements of our argument and all this and that. And but I'll just say this. You want to trade? Huh? Y'all want to trade? Hey, shout out to all of our subscribers and members here on the channel. My name is Reese Waters, and I'm troubled. Now, we've discussed a number of different groups in this space this year.
You want to talk about regretting your vote?
I never thought I'd say that, but I regret my vote. I voted for Trump.
As a Hispanic, I voted for Donald J. Trump. Dude, I regret it so much, man.
I feel guilty because I voted for Trump twice. I feel very guilty because I feel responsible.
But one group we have yet to address and has been having a bit of a tough time has been white women.
Hey, fellow white women who voted for Kamala, this is not our opportunity to use black women to ask them to do the labor of providing us with comfort and alleviating our fear and anxiety over the election. We're also not going to come to black women expecting them to give us a pat on the back and say, we know you're not one of the bad ones. You did what you could, hun. And also, it is not our place to go to black women when they are criticizing white women. I mean, have you looked at the numbers? And to tell them, not me, it wasn't me, I'm one of the good ones. Stop putting that on black women. Stop it. Don't do it. If you've got big feelings of fear and trepidation about the future, about our rights as women, if you have intense anger and disappointment at other white women, shame about our demographic, stop asking black women to manage those feelings for you. You are a grown-ass woman and you get to deal with them. And then how you can turn those feelings into effective strategic action.
Oh, I like this. Yeah.
To my black women that are my friends, if we follow each other on here, my acquaintances, I'm sorry. You don't ever have a reason to trust white women again. 52% voted against their own best interest over race. You'll never convince me that wasn't why. And I'm sorry. For those of you who wasted your third-party vote, I'm so disgusted and disheartened. You knew that they would never put that third party in office, so you wasted your vote, and it made a difference. It made a difference in the states where he won. So don't ask me for shit.
So a white woman friend of mine got reported to HR at work because of something that she said to a colleague.
Okay.
And when you're the black friend, you receive the text messages asking for advice. And so I just want to share with you what this text said. Printed it out. Here we go. Hey Z, hope you're doing well. Hope you don't mind me texting, but I've gotten myself into quite a situation at work. Long story short, I had a very heated conversation with a colleague last week. It came about because she was upset with me. She felt after a conversation together the prior day that my language and tone had been rude and condescending. So she pulled me into her office the next day to let me know how she felt. But unfortunately, she approached it in a way where I felt very threatened and attacked. In trying to tell her that I felt threatened, I used the word aggressive, and now I've been reported to HR. She's a woman of color, so what I did not know before, but I know now, is that aggressive could be interpreted as a racially insensitive term. I feel like an idiot, of course.
Go on.
Because that was not my intent, nor did I know that. Is that widely understood to be the case? Are there other words besides the obvious that I need to be aware of? First, I want to share that my friend is a wonderful person, yet she has biases that she's not aware of. And so to those that are not aware, yes, the term aggressive can be very, very offensive because it's associated with angry black women. We might just state our opinion, and while another person might be called assertive, we get called aggressive. She asked what other terms she should be aware of, and you know what I told her? Google is a powerful tool. Also, read my book, Black People Breathe, especially the chapter called RESPECT at work. I got a follow-up text from her thanking me for my advice, saying that she had a really, really good conversation that was emotional with her colleague and that tears were shed, but it is all good now. And while I am so happy for her, I also had to share with her the complexity of white women's tears and these things happening, and then white women crying and making themselves the center of attention when they were the ones that committed harm. So I hope this was educational. And if you are somebody that's been called aggressive, I'm curious, how did that pan out? And if you are an aspiring ally, I ask you, have you ever called anybody aggressive?
All right. Now what did we learn?
So I reached out to a couple of people today to kind of, check in, see how they were doing, because I know I've been struggling all day. And one of the people that I reached out to was a white woman like myself, and she echoed my sentiment, just absolutely devastated and couldn't believe this has happened. How could it happen? Why did it happen? Offered support to one another and words of, encouragement. But another person that I had reached out today, she's a black woman my age. And she was like, yeah. And it's almost like she couldn't understand my my disbelief. And it dawned on me. It's because black women have been going through this for years. This is just another fucking slap in the face. As a white woman, as a woman of privilege, I wasn't brought up with privilege, but I do recognize and know exactly what white privilege is, and I am a woman of white privilege. I'm not used to being told no if we vote, right? It's like, I tried hard, I busted my ass, I talked the talk, I walked the walk. How the fuck could this happen? How could this happen? It's not right, it's not fair. But black women, you're used to it. And for that, I am so fucking sorry. I am so sorry.
That's well said. Yeah, that's well said. That explains the difference in energy that we happen to be feeling right now. That was good. Anybody else?
I pray to God that this does not come off as offensive to anybody, because I mean this with the utmost love and respect from the bottom of my whole entire heart. But when a black woman calls me baby, there is so much. What kind of magic are you putting in there? Because that shit hits harder than crack. Every single time, every encounter in my life that I have had with a black woman where she calls me baby, I have never felt more loved and supported in my entire life. I feel almost imprinted on. Like, are you my mother? I will go to the ends of the earth for that woman. Okay, ride or die, because it may have just been a very quick one-time encounter for her, but for me, you don't understand. We're like this. How, call me, beat me if you gotta reach me, because I will do whatever. How can I be of service?
That's not really what I was looking for, quite frankly, but thank you for sharing. Now, y'all remember what Mama used to say? I give you something to cry about? No, the other thing. Clean draws. Yeah. Streets is watching. That's right. The streets is always watching. And that, of course, has never been more true than it is today, especially considering who the streets consist of. Now, there are these people out there called data brokers. Let's just call them the ops. And these are people that buy and sell our private information. They're the reasons why you getting all these spam emails and all these spam calls, which actually makes me feel loved sometimes till I actually open it up and realize they call me Janice. These data brokers have built a huge industry from buying and selling our private information without our consent. Now, they are supposed to remove our information if we ask, but y'all know the answer to that one. Y'all exactly, yeah. Oh, I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send you the form. You won't get it. Yeah, they make it as difficult as possible. And that is where today's sponsor, Aura, comes in, because they make it so much easier to remove all of your information from these data broker sites automatically. Not just that, they don't just opt you out of data brokers. They also include dark web monitoring, fraud alerts, a VPN, and a whole lot more. It's really one-stop shopping if you want to feel protected online. You can go to my link, aura.com/ReeseWaters to try 14 days for free. Again, that's aura.com/ReeseWaters to try 14 days for free. That's enough time for Aura to start scrubbing your personal info off these data broker sites automatically. Streets is watching. Jay-Z, what you doing over here? Oh, see, we got somebody upset in the back. We knew there would be one.
So I think I speak for most white women when I say...
Oh, you got it? You want to take that? All right, you got it.
So I think I speak for most white women when I say... We are sick and tired of seeing the Dear White Women videos that black women are making about us.
And many people are saying, you know what, continue.
The point to where we're waking up every morning thinking, okay, what are we going to get blamed for today?
Okay, so wait a minute. Are we still talking about black women? Or have we moved on into marriage counseling?
Oh, black people can't be racist. Yes, you motherfucking can be, miss.
Okay, so just to play devil's advocate, they may not like you. But that doesn't make them racist. It's called prejudice. They are not the same. Okay, continue.
Black people are racist to white people every day. And why? It's because they have no fear of...
Even though that ain't even true, you are mad at the social construct that your people created. Imagine it.
To be hateful and racist to white people.
Okay, so in this instance, we're gonna put a reverse Uno and ask, are you being a victim?
Name it, it would happen. But black people can do it, and it's perfectly fine and it's perfectly acceptable. That is black.
Okay, so which one of your privileges are you utilizing at this current moment? Is it your alligator teeth?
And one of them even went as far to say is, if you are...
One of them? Come here. You see, I don't think people have a problem with you because of your color, okay? This cat's out the bag. I simply think it's your aura. It's your energy. It's very negative. Nancy. Hello.
Want to go?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
No, trust me, it's not.
It's not?
That's the guy.
Oh, I get it. I'm not persecuted. I'm just an ass.
Every day it's something else. You can't wear braids. You can't wear this type of clothes. You can't listen to this type of music.
Yeah, many people would say, welcome to the life of a black high school student.
Santa Claus is now black.
Come here. Closer.
Like, if your main focus in the day is cutting down white women...
That's a real gnarly statement of you. Thank you. Carry on.
But those few that are sure making that entire race look bad.
And that's a great way to end this segment. You have the day that you deserve, ma'am. Hello.
Okay, it's a whole lot of things that I could have said to go back and refute specific things and elements of our argument and all this and that. But I'll just say this. You want to trade? Huh? Y'all want to trade? Because all the things that y'all say are unfair, right? All the things y'all say are unfair, all the freedoms that black people have, that white people can't take advantage of, get to make racial jokes. We get to rap the whole verse to Glorilla, without having to edit ourselves in public. You know what I mean? All the stuff that we get to do, would you trade so that we now have the power structure in this country, politically and financially? Like, would you like to trade? Because you're at such a disadvantage. So at the end of the day, if that's not a trade you're willing to make, you told on yourselves.
Okay, white women,
So now that we're feeling excluded from and kicked out of Dr. Barlow's Hillman Talk University, we're finally ready to have these conversations. I mean, okay, but it's not a good look for us that it took until we felt personally affected by all of this stuff to really take an interest. So let's talk about why we don't need to be in this particular space at this present moment learning from these Black women. Every single generation has some huge, awful, newsworthy event that really highlights how poorly Black people can be treated. And as it turns out, this is not our generation's first go around. It's only been 5 years since George Floyd was red-rummed. And at that time, we learned about the Black Lives Matter movement, which, by the way, was started by 3 Black women more than a decade ago. We went to protests and we went to marches. And at that time, Black women had some hope. They gave us reading lists and they made content for us, articles and books and videos, trying so hard through their pain and their rage and their grief to explain things to us, to help us to understand. And now, 5 years later, we have the audacity to come into their comment sections and say, we want to learn this stuff. We don't know it. How else will we learn? That's not true. All of the stuff already exists. And the real thing is, if you want to be an ally, if you truly want to be a safe person, most of the work starts in your real life, in your home, and in the community that you move in, regardless of whether there are Black people in that community or not. Because the 3 things that we need to start with in order to truly do the work have nothing to do with Black people. The first is, how do you handle emotions? Do you know what to do with hard emotions, with anger and sadness and grief and disgust and shame and guilt? Do you know what to do when other people are having those emotions? We need to be able to handle our own emotional baggage and also be able to tolerate other people's emotions. The second is to take a look at how you treat people who have less power than you, societally speaking. How do you treat retail workers, service workers? How do you treat children? What are your parenting values? What do you expect from children that you don't expect from adults? And why is that justifiable? And then lastly, how do you allow yourself to be treated by people who have more power than you, societally speaking? Some examples of these could be your father, your brother, your boss, a teacher, a politician, a religious leader. Do you know how to stand up for yourself? Do you know how to set and maintain boundaries? Because until we can do all of those things, any allyship, no matter how many books we've read, will always be performative. And these are the things we have to tackle within our own homes, our own communities, before we can even be able to meet Black women at the level that they are and speak intelligently about these things. So go do some Googling. We have the internet. All of the information is already there. We don't need to be here.
Hi, Mark. I'm Julie. I wanted to answer your question. I actually saw your post last night, but I wanted to be very thoughtful in my reply and think about what I wanted to say, so I didn't want to give the typical answers most people who have been giving, like, I don't see skin color or nothing, because that is true, but it's a lot more complicated than that. I even wrote out all of my points so that I wouldn't forget anything and that I could be as concise as possible, but this may still be a little long. First, some ground rules. This is my opinion. I am here to explain how I see this, but not to excuse anyone's behavior. And yes, white people are not a monolith, but I also think that way too many do not reflect on these issues, and I will mention why. And white people, if you're watching this, this is for Mark and other Black people. So before you start popping off in the comments, maybe you need to sit down and reflect on what I'm about to say, because I don't think we reflect enough on these kind of things. So here we go. So white fragility is real. I'm not going to explain what white fragility is. Black people probably know. If you don't know and you're white, go look it up. Google is your friend. But I think every single person, white person, experiences white fragility. Those who experience it a little experience it as guilt, and those who experience it a lot display it as anger. Anger is a secondary emotion to other emotions, mainly to hurt and fear. As I mentioned in my video 2 years ago, which you can go look, is pinned at the top of my page, which was a discussion about why white women hate Black women. it's really because we fear them, but more accurately, we are intimidated by them. I believe that these feelings of intimidation actually carry over to white men, and maybe even more intensely, because white men are born into a supremacist patriarchal society that was set up for them and puts them at the top of the society without even having to do anything but be born. They just have to be born, and they're automatically the best, accordingly. In general, that concept applies to all white people, because our identity starts, and for some of us ends, with the color of our skin. Most of us, a lot of us, many of us feel like we don't have the need to prove ourselves because we've been sold the story that being white simply just makes us better. We are unmotivated to educate ourselves, to develop community, to work for our rights. I mean, see what's going on right now in the country. All these white people are giving lip service to, oh, it's so bad, what are we going to do? But nobody's out here organizing. Nobody's doing a damn thing. We all know that black women are the ultimate organizers. White people don't know how to organize. They don't have community. They just know how to complain. And we just think everything is going to be okay for us and we're going to come out on top because we're white, because of the color of our skin. So then when we see black people who are educated and have culture and have community, besides appropriating that, we realize that we really do have no identity outside of our whiteness, no uniqueness. We have no ties to any heritage. White is a social construct. It's not even really a race. So we hate you because we can't admit that your existence intimidates us, because that requires vulnerability and self-reflection and emotional maturity, which most people in general don't have, and certainly white people, they don't possess that. And probably even more so white men, because you have to add in there a hefty dose of toxic masculinity. So if we admit that we are intimidated by you, then to us, in our mind, consciously or unconsciously, that would make us weak, or maybe more appropriately, inferior. And that is with odds at what we have been taught. There's a cognitive dissonance there, right? Our whole lives. This also applies to other non-white races, the way we view them. So that's why we hate you and negate your accomplishments with things like DEI trope and suppressing education like critical race theory or factual black history. It's because we have been raised to see ourselves a certain way our whole lives. And again, your existence threatens that, adds to cognitive dissonance, makes us feel intimidated, and therefore we express that white fragility and that intimidation in anger, because that feels better to some of us. Or guilt, like I said, for some of us who maybe don't, rise to the level of anger. So thank you for coming to my TED Talk to kick off Black History Month. By the way, your style is impeccable, chef's kiss, but also proves my point about how much more black people have culture and style and all the things than white people. Have a great day.
Now, it does look like there actually might have been some movement since these conversations have been had online. The question remains why it took the complete erosion of our democracy for it to occur. And that is why you are here today being discussed alongside the groups that I named at the very beginning. We could have avoided all of this, but instead, you had to find out. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel, and I want to send a very special shout out to everybody who made our 600 subscriber members live celebration.
Everybody do the twist, okay? Got me out the streets. And then they came and found me to drag me back to the streets. And while they were there, he came out with twist again, like we did last summer. And then all the thugs was dancing. And the crime stopped.
I like those members' lives. It's like I can speak more freely. It's like being at the world's largest barbershop that never fixes my bald spot. Speaking of members, I want to give a shout out to Lee from both YouTube and Patreon, where you can join her at patreon.com/ReeseWaters. She sent me this photo saying, "We took pics with our shirts. Mom never misses an episode of Reese. I always have to explain the Gen X millennial jokes. Thank God I didn't have to explain the Yin Yang twins. She didn't ask." Yeah, good luck with that. I still can't explain the Yin Yang twins to anybody. I can't explain the Yin Yang twins to myself, but I'm sure she thoroughly enjoyed the verses between No Limit and Cash Money since she's newly up on the culture, and I can only hope to age like Birdman.
Trying to get some money and not be in the streets, and I met BG, I met Wayne, I met Juvie, I met Turk. Shout out to Turkey Lip.
But thank you so much for the merch pick. You can submit one at admin@ReeseWaters.com. And we have some new merch that's available now, including the Who Raised Y'all gear and now FAFO gear. I know we had to do FAFO gear. I had done too many FAFO videos. I got to the point where it was actually a legal requirement that I had to have FAFO t-shirts and mugs.
And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4.
So make sure you guys check that out at thepeoplesgetup.com. And you guys may have noticed it's now tied to my YouTube. So you'll be able to see it right there on my YouTube page.
It's been 84 years.
And last but not least, because I gave so much love to the Libras, and I am in fact on the cusp, I gotta give some love to my Scorpios as well. Where my Scorpios at? That's right, Picasso and Frank Ocean and Jimmy Kimmel. Welcome back. Matthew McConaughey. All right. I enjoy a good Scorp. Is that Drake over there? That's Drake. Y'all calling him Lawbury now? Kris Jenner. That's Kris Jenner. I know that ain't who is that Diddy? That look like Diddy. Why he ain't got no shirt on? Drake, Kris Jenner, and Diddy? Nah, I can't do that. Nah, I'm gonna go with a week early. I'm full Libra. I can't even do that.